Hello, everyone, and welcome to English with Altaf. I'm Ikra, and today we have a fantastic topic that will truly transform your English journey.
And I'm Altaf. In this video, we're going to dive into the powerful strategy of thinking in English, a skill that's absolutely crucial for achieving fluency. We'll explore why it's so important and how you can start practicing it today.
Absolutely, Altaf. Many of our viewers might be wondering, why should I bother thinking in English when I can just translate from my native language? Well, the truth is, translating often slows you down and can even lead to unnatural sounding English. When you think in English, you bypass that translation step entirely.
That's right, Iqra. Think of it like this. When you're speaking your native language, you don't translate your thoughts. You just form them directly. The goal with English is to reach that same level of automaticity. When you think in English, your responses become quicker, more spontaneous, and much more natural. It's about building a direct connection between your thoughts and the English language.
Precisely. One of the biggest hurdles for English learners is the mental gymnastics of translating every single word or phrase. This not only consumes valuable time during conversations, but also prevents you from truly immersing yourself in the language. Imagine trying to have a fluid conversation while your brain is constantly doing mental dictionary lookups. It's exhausting and inefficient.
Indeed. And it's not just about speed. When you translate, you often end up with sentences that are grammatically correct but sound awkward or unnatural to a native speaker. This is because every language has its own unique way of expressing ideas, its own idioms, and its own sentence structures. Direct translation often fails to capture these nuances. Thinking in English helps you internalize those natural patterns.
So, Altaf, let's talk about the initial steps. For someone who's used to constantly translating, where did they begin? It might feel overwhelming at first.
A great starting point, Iqra, is to begin with simple, everyday objects and actions. When you see a chair, instead of thinking kursi, Urdu for chair, consciously think chair. When you're drinking water, think I am drinking water. It sounds basic, but these small, consistent efforts build a strong foundation. The key is to make it a conscious habit.
I love that. It's about retraining your brain, isn't it? It's like building new neural pathways. What about more complex thoughts? How do we transition from simple objects to expressing more intricate ideas directly in English?
That's the next natural progression. Once you're comfortable with individual words and simple phrases, start narrating your daily activities to yourself in English. For instance, as you're getting ready in the morning, think, I need to brush my teeth. I will then make some coffee. What should I wear today? This internal monologue is incredibly powerful. It forces your brain to formulate complete sentences and thoughts in English, without the crutch of translation.
This sounds like a fantastic exercise. It's a low-pressure environment to practice. You're not worried about making mistakes in front of anyone.
Exactly. The beauty of this technique is that you're your own audience. You can experiment, make mistakes, and correct yourself without any embarrassment. The more you do it, the more natural it becomes. It's about building confidence and fluency from within.
And what about when we're reading or listening to English? Should we be consciously trying to think in English then too?
Absolutely, Iqra. When you're reading an English book or listening to an English podcast, try to process the information directly in English. Instead of mentally translating sentences back to your native language, Try to understand the meaning from the English words themselves. If you encounter an unfamiliar word, try to infer its meaning from the context before reaching for a dictionary. This active engagement strengthens your English comprehension and thought processes.
That's a crucial point. Often learners jump straight to a dictionary, which again reinforces the translation habit. Trying to understand from context forces your brain to work within the English framework.
Precisely. And this applies to watching English movies or TV shows as well. Start with subtitles if you need them, but try to gradually reduce your reliance on them. The ultimate goal is to understand the dialogue and the plot purely by listening and thinking in English. It's challenging at first, but incredibly rewarding.
What about when someone is actually speaking in English? Is there a particular strategy to employ in a real-time conversation?
In a real-time conversation, the key is to allow yourself to make mistakes and to not get stuck trying to formulate the perfect sentence. If you're thinking in English, your brain will naturally try to access the appropriate vocabulary and grammar. Don't censor yourself too much. It's better to speak imperfectly and continuously than to pause and translate. Focus on conveying your message, and the fluency will follow.
That's a very encouraging point, Altaf. Many learners are afraid of making mistakes, which can paralyze them. So, embracing imperfection is part of the process.
Absolutely. Mistakes are learning opportunities. Every time you make a mistake and correct it, you're strengthening your English pathways. The more you practice thinking and speaking in English, the fewer mistakes you'll make over time. It's a continuous improvement process.
And what role does vocabulary play in all of this? If you don't have a robust vocabulary, how can you truly think in English?
Vocabulary is undeniably important, Ikra. However, the process of thinking in English actually helps build your vocabulary more effectively. When you're consciously trying to think in English, you'll naturally identify gaps in your vocabulary. This awareness then drives you to actively learn new words that you can immediately integrate into your internal thought processes. Instead of rote memorization, you're learning words with a direct application.
So, it's a symbiotic relationship. Thinking in English helps you acquire vocabulary, and a growing vocabulary makes it easier to think in English.
Exactly. They feed into each other. Another technique that can be very helpful is to label things around you. As you go about your day, mentally or even softly aloud, label objects, actions, and feelings in English. This is a book. I am feeling tired. The weather is sunny. This simple act reinforces the English connection to your environment.
That's a fantastic practical tip that anyone can start doing right away. So, to recap, Altaf, what are the core takeaways for our viewers from today's discussion on thinking in English?
Well, Ikra, what we've learned today is that thinking in English is not just a technique. It's a fundamental shift in your approach to language learning. We've understood that it bypasses the need for translation, leading to faster, more natural, and more fluent English. We've explored practical steps, from labeling simple objects to narrating our daily activities and actively processing English content. We've also emphasized the importance of embracing mistakes and allowing ourselves to speak imperfectly as we build confidence. Ultimately, thinking in English is about building a direct, unmediated connection with the language, which is the cornerstone of true fluency.
And there you have it. a comprehensive guide to unlocking your English fluency by mastering the art of thinking in English. Thank you so much for joining us on English with Altaf. We hope you found this video incredibly helpful.
We certainly do. Keep practicing, keep thinking in English, and you'll see remarkable progress. We'll see you in the next video.